Good morning. My name is Colleen Brock, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak today about the specialty tier issue and the impact SB 841 would have on my family's lives. I come here today representing both the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is a national patient organization dedicated to improving the lives of the 250,000 persons nationwide living with primary immunodeficiency diseases, and my family. I have an immune disorder called common variable immunodeficiency, also known as CVID. As do our children, my daughter Emily, who is age 17, and our son Adam, who's age 21. CVID is a disease where our bodies do not produce antibodies to any germs or immunizations. That means we get very sick quite often because we have no protection against the germs we are exposed to daily. It means that the hospital is like a second home. You get bronchitis, pneumonia, and a sinus infection all at the same time. You go to bed at night feeling good and wake up in the morning with a temp of 104 and vomiting all day. And you live in constant fear that a food you may eat may be contaminated, causing possible death. Developing an autoimmune disease or cancer is another constant worry. It is for life. There is no cure. And there is only one medication that we can get that will help to keep us alive. Our son Adam was diagnosed at the age of 6, which is very unusual, when he aspirated his formula due to reflux. 6 months. The pulmonologist, as a routine, did an immune profile in the hospital and found that his immune system had never turned on, as it should have by then. He spent the first year of his life in and out of the hospital, and we actually planned his funeral, his first Christmas, because we didn't think he was gonna live. He was very sick. He had he had a gastrointestinal bug called C. difficile, which produces horrific diarrhea, and was losing weight every day. But he got better. So instead of the funeral, we had a great Christmas and celebrated. Emily was diagnosed at the age of 8, but we pretty much knew from birth that she too was going to suffer. I was diagnosed 2 years ago after going through breast cancer treatments. The great thing is, though, that although we have been diagnosed with this horrible disease, we do lead as normal of a life as possible, as long as we get our treatments. Adam, who could not be here today because of college, has been swimming since he was 8 years old, and he has swum on numerous swim teams. He's now a senior in college and will graduate in May with a computer science degree. Emily is currently a senior in high school and has been swimming since she was 4 and has played volleyball for her high school team for the last 4 years. They are active, productive members of society. I also lead a very busy life. This is possible for all of us because of the medication we receive and the protections like frequent hand washing that we all do. Since we have little natural protection against germs, we need a medication from donated plasma called gamma globulin. This is the only medication available to keep us alive. We each receive IVIG every 3 weeks. It takes several hours to infuse and costs $10,000 a month for each of us. Yes, there are different companies that produce this medication, but there's no generic, there's no biosimilar available as an alternative. Even though the medication is the same, they are all manufactured differently, and not all patients can tolerate the same product. This is extremely important to understand. Each medication has a different additive and a mixture and a different concentration. Thus, no one medication can be taken by all patients with CVID. We had a very close call when Adam was about a year old. There was a shortage of the medication that the hospital had been giving him, and so they had to do a different product. That didn't go so well. Shortly after the infusion started, he spiked a fever, his blood pressure dropped. They were getting ready to move him to the pediatric intensive care unit, unsure of what was going to happen next, when he started to get better. And because I'm a nurse, they left him in the room with me, and he got over it. They stopped and said, never, ever give him this product again. So they went back to using the other product as it became available. Anaphylactic shock was not a fun thing to watch your child go through. Each patient needs to have the ability to discuss with their physician which product is best for them to take based on what is wrong with their immune system, not somebody else's. It should not be up to the insurance company to dictate what product our patients must take. The issue of specialty tiers and coinsurance scares me to death. If insurance companies are allowed to charge an extra fee for certain medications, how and where do I get the money to stay alive or keep my children alive? Creating another copay or coinsurance for medications in the specialty tier that insurance companies have created spells disaster for just about all of the 250,000 people that I represent. A representation of how the specialty tier could directly affect us looks something like this. If the insurance company says we must pay $100 per month for the gamma globulin, then we would have to dole out $300 per month for 10 months and $600 for 2 months because we receive our medication every 3 weeks. That equates to $4,200 per year for our treatments alone, on top of our $4,000 deductible and our insurance premiums because we are a small business and pay for our own insurance. Specialty tiers are usually set up requiring coinsurance where the patient must pay a percentage of the cost of treatment. Some plans require coinsurance as high as 40 or 50%. We can't pay $4,000 or $5,000 per month times 3. That's $48,000 to $60,000 a year in our family alone. We would have to choose between bankruptcy or death. Autoimmune disorders are also very common for CVID patients, and I myself have developed severe rheumatoid arthritis and have had cancer. If any of the other 17 medications that I take fall into this category, I would have to pay an additional $1,200 a month each year on top of the money we would have to pay for our gamma globulin treatments. There are thousands of patients just like me, so this example would be the same for other people with primary immune disorders. We just don't have that kind of money and would quickly become financially bankrupt. The specialty tier is a disaster in the making for so many families and is so wrong. It penalizes me because my children and I have a rare and chronic disease. In closing, I would like to say that I realize this medication we are discussing is very expensive. We call it liquid gold, and I don't take this issue lightly. However, I ask you, could you stop taking your medicine to pay for your children to live? Or worse yet, could you decide which of your children dies first? Or your grandchildren, and pick out their casket just because you don't have the money to pay for them to live? That's our option. We don't have the money. And how do I tell her, or how do I tell my son, that you have to die because I can't help you? I urge you to pass SB 841 and to think about how it impacts all of us on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
I think this well illustrates and puts some faces on an issue that Senator Mensch, myself, and the panelists up here, I'm sorry we're not better prepared for questions, but You've left me almost speechless. That's not easy to do. Senator Mensch, any
I'm speechless.
comments? Thank you very much, and God bless you, and good luck.
Thank you.